In this video, I'm going to show you how to model a mechanical joint in plasticity. We're going to be using as a reference a model from a pack by Vitaly Bulgarov. It's a Phoenix pack. And we're going to be talking a lot about design and mechanical design in particular. So it's going to be a lot of fun and hopefully you're going to learn a lot of stuff. Let's go. Here on the left hand side, you can see what I'm pressing. Here on the top left, we have the reference from the Phoenix pack by Vitaly Bulgarov. We're not going to be following this, to the T, but it's good to have some kind of a reference, laying around. Now, if you're new to plasticity or even if you're an intermediate user, I highly recommend you grab our ultimate guide to plasticity. This course is insane. It's 12 hours long and it contains literally everything and more than you can imagine. There is a section on tools, the UI, everything is explained. So even if you're a complete beginner, you're gonna be fine. The main section of the course obviously is modeling of this awesome spaceship, and we're gonna be modeling not just the exterior but also interior, landing gear, all the details, and everything is functional. So it's gonna be a really cool lesson on how to create a functional mechanical hard surface design. And also you're gonna learn not just how to work with booleans but also with curves and surfaces, which is the key to how to work with CAD software. So this is gonna prepare you for creating your own designs in plasticity. Doesn't matter what it is, you're gonna learn all the tools you need to create anything you want. And there's a massive section, and I mean massive, it's almost 4 hours long, on exporting or importing this to Blender through Blender Bridge from plasticity, how to optimize the mesh, how to texture it, how to detail it, and I'm also going in depth on camera work, lighting, composition, everything you need to know to create good renders. And then we obviously rendering it, and then we are post-processing it in Photoshop. So in a nutshell, this course is going to prepare you for creating your own hard surface models in plasticity, your own designs. So whether you're just a concept artist or a designer or just a beginner and you want to have some fun, it's perfect. So go ahead, grab the course. The link is in the video description and also in the pinned comment below the video. The course is really good. Okay, so let's get on with the modeling. Now I'm going to be using shortcuts, and obviously, but you can see them here, and I'm going to be using radial menus, and radial menus are custom, but you can create your own, and there is a special website and that explains how to do this. I'm going to show you a link here on the screen. You can go ahead and build these yourself, but if you're going to get the course, both menus, so this one with tools and also this menu here, is going to be included in the course, so you can just drag and drop it into plasticity and it's going to work. Okay, let's get started. I'm using Alt and middle mouse button to switch between views. Let's go to side view. So you see here it's going to be front, left, back, left. So left is fine, which is from the side. And Shift A to grab this curve, and we're gonna create this first shape here. Like this. Go down, and I'm going to actually extend it here. Just tap Shift here to align this and do something like that. Make sure you're gonna close it, right click to confirm. Then you're gonna press 3, click, and when you drag it, press tab. So you're gonna drag it on both sides, right? Now let's make it wider, we can cut it later. Now we don't need these curves, we can just nuke them, and we don't need the face in the middle as well. I think there's a face, no there isn't, okay, fine. So now let's see, let's actually make this a little bit thicker. So it's a bit too thin, so maybe let's grab this edge here and move it up a bit. And I'm gonna grab these two and I'm gonna bevel them and then press full here. So I'm gonna get this full bevel here in the front, which is cool. Let's just rotate this, right? And we're gonna grab this face here and we're going to drop it down. So GZ, and we can't do that. So let's grab the edge here and drop this edge. Okay. In fact, G, Z, and hold Control. There we go, to snap it, and the same with this one. G, Z, and hold Control and snap it to this vertex. Is gonna be, nicely angled. And this one should be flat, so S, Y, 0, and, just like in Blender. And this looks better. Now this is probably still too thick, so we could just, thin it out here. Cool, so now what we're gonna do is we're going to cut this here. Let's cut it like that, right? In fact, let's bring it somewhere here, and then C, left click, right click, and you're gonna cut it. And now we're gonna have to bevel this. So let's just select these two edges and start beveling it. That's not gonna work. So let's just grab this model and go to local view, and let's just grab edge, and we're going to bevel this, and then you're gonna click on full, and this is gonna create something like this, which I think looks cool. And we're obviously gonna have to cut a similar shape here in this shape. So what we're gonna do is nuke that, grab this one, we're gonna make this a little bit larger, and GG, and move it in here like this, okay? Actually make it a little bit larger. There you go. Then we're going to scale this a little bit so you can see. I'm gonna grab this this edge here. I'm gonna rip it off. So Shift D and X here, right? And then we're going to make it a little bit larger, and then C and cut this one, right? X to delete it. Boom. And now I got this joint. Grab these two, and we're going to create these kind of like chamfers, all right? All right, so this is going to be sliding on top of it, right? So now we can make this, you know, wider. And to make sure that they're the same width, we can just run a cut here like that. And see, cut this one and cut this one. So nuke these, right? And then we're going to select both, Alt X, click here, then press Q to merge them, right click, and you're good to go. So now we got this basic shape here in the front, which is cool. And then we're gonna be working on the top here. So in fact, you know what, before we're gonna do the back side here, let's just work on this bit here maybe, I think. So let's create this joint here now, this circular joint. So grab this cylinder and simply draw a circle here like that, and you can push it through. Let's accept this and run a joint here in the middle like this. This is, I think, fine. And don't make it too large, because this, you know, this bit here is going to be too feeble. It's a massive joint, so you're going to make it more robust and more kind of, you know, heavy duty if you're going to make this circular element here, this bolt, whatever it is, smaller. So let's just select this one, Q, and this one, then press T, because we want to keep this one in the middle. Right click, and then we can scale this this one in the middle a little bit. There we go. And then I'm going to create a light chamfer here, not too big. Grab this one and then move this and click on this face to align them so that, you know, they flush, right? And then I'm gonna just simply run a bevel here, and I'm peachy, and then I'm gonna simply mirror this to the other side. Q, and the same with this one. So 4, come on. Let me just go to object view. There we go. Alt X and Q and right click. Boom. Here in the front, we want to, I would say we're going to do something different here. So how about we going to insert this O for insert and do something like this. In fact, we're going to do it differently. Let's grab this face, Shift D, and move it in here. Then let's just press O and do that, right? Then we're going to delete this one, so Shift X. We're going to be left with this. And then what we can do is grab this one to local view, and we can run these. Actually, you know what? I want to maintain the angle. So let's grab these edges and Shift D. Let's make them larger, right? Come on, larger. There we go. And GG, move them here like this, right? And then C and cut it. So we're gonna nuke this. You're gonna have this kind of echo, you know, echoed angle here, and the same here. So Shift D and grab this one, make it larger, and then GG, move it here, and then C and cut it. 4 and nuke these both things. I would always remove these because I don't really need them. Then we can grab this one and we can, you know, extend it. I mean, extrude it. So E for extrusion, and then simply grab it. So 4. And GX, move it in here, and we're gonna, you know, boolean this, so Q and Bob's your uncle, right? And then here on the very edge, I mean on the very the very end here, we're gonna run this cylinder here, and Q and Boolean, right? So let's see. In fact, this could go, the whole length. So just push it through and accept it, and we could have some kind of element here. So it's going to be a little bit different than the one in the reference. Okay. Now another thing you can do is you could technically change the dynamics here. So we could let's push this a little bit deeper. So let's grab both of them and move them. That's not going to work. Let's just X this and push it a little bit deeper like that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this from the top like that, X, and slice it one more time. So 2, then C, and nuke this and see how this goes. I don't like the angle here, so let me just fix this angle. Let's just rotate it and put it somewhere here. Let me go to the 3, select this one, press space for construction plane, and we're gonna cut this from a construction plane like this. And this should be better, so let's nuke that. Yeah, that's much better. So now we can move this one a little bit back because it's too deep, so move it back. And in fact, what we could do, we could rotate it, so move it to somewhere here, right? Go to the top view, press Alt-Z to see that, and just RR and rotate it like that. And G, and move it here. So you're gonna have this kind of a interesting shape here. Wait a minute, it's angled. That's not what I want. I want RZ and move it like this. Wait a minute, let me just move it deeper. Then RZ, there we go, and then do something like this. Let's see how this looks. This is kind of interesting, not gonna lie. And yeah, I kind of like that. This could be a little bit, narrower, like this maybe. It's gonna be kind of cool, right? Awesome. So with this done, we can mirror this to the other side. So 4 and Alt X Q and apply, and we're good to go. We got some interesting shape, and obviously later you can fix these. You could grab these 2 faces, go to side view, and you could just RR and do something like this, which is pretty bloody cool, right? So you could align them more or less to make this more interesting. Or what we could do is align this one like this. You could do also this kind of thing, but I think this is gonna look cool, a little bit angled like that. It's a little bit more interesting in my opinion. So Alt X Q, right click, left click, boom. Let's fix this part here, make it a bit more interesting, yeah? So what I'm thinking is that we could combine these 2 edges together like this, okay? And then Shift Q. And if you don't have this radial menu, just go to F menu and find imprint, left click and right click, and you're gonna imprint it on your mesh. So then you're gonna be able to do something with this face. Now what I wanna do is I wanna run a Control R here. So a loop like that, grab this edge here in the bottom. Let me just turn off this. Grab this edge on the bottom here and move it in. So GX and do something like this. That's not really what I wanted. I'll tell you what, let me just move this whole face in. And can I just now move this edge X back here and control? There we go. So that's what I wanted, okay? Kind of like a wedge cut sort of a thing, but maybe not too deep, not too deep. Maybe something like this. And then we could run a bevel here like this. I don't know if it's gonna look any good, but it kind of looks weak, to be honest. Do I like this? Hang on a second. How about this one? Well, this could be interesting, and maybe we could run a bevel here. How this looks. That's actually not bad, but this line is in the middle. I want to drop it down, so GZ and drop it down a little bit. So it's going to be more on a like 2/3, and I think this is much more interesting now, okay? And here, obviously, we could have a bevel to smooth it out. Although, yeah, maybe bevel is fine, kind of like a gentle bevel, to make it a bit more smooth and whatnot. Control E to remove edges so we can see what we're doing. I think it's looking good. So I think we're good. So now what I want to do here is I want to grab this circle and shift D and then SS to scale it. I want to create a shape off of it. Actually, that's too big. Something like this. See, now when I'm going to run a line here from any point really, see that line here that I snapped to? It's going to be tangent to this curve. This is really important. We want a tangency. So go here and then go this way, all the way. And let's actually go here somewhere. And then down, maybe somewhere here. Maybe on the edge here, or maybe lower here. All the way here to the bottom. Let's just tap shift here. And then we need to find a tangency here. There we go, tangent. And then we're going to press T and trim this. We're going to grab these. Go to local view. So now we're going to press 3 and grab this and extrude it. I'm going to grab another curve and I'm going to run curve like this and see and cut it. And we're going to nuke all this rubbish here. And obviously all the curves because we don't need them. Let me just grab the curves. There we go. Let's go back. Now let's see what we have here. I'm not sure I like this. I'm going to actually drop this face down like this and cut it again. So let me just slice it again like this. See and slice it. Let me see how we're looking. Yeah, this is much better. So let me just move it in now, right? And then what we're going to do is we're going to combine them. So QQ, grab this face, and we're going to scale it like that. And then I'm going to cut it here. How are we looking? We're looking pretty good. Now this is too thick, so we're going to move it in. Something like this. And then this one, GX, move it in here like this. What we could do here is maybe rotate this. GZ and move it up. Rotate this one. So RR. GZ and move it down. That's much more interesting. Curve this. So it's gonna be echoed here. And we could maybe even curve these. How are we looking? Oh, that's actually not terrible. That's actually not terrible. Cool, let's just mirror to the other side. Q and we're good, right? So we got this side sorted. Then we obviously want some chamfers here. I want to go with larger chamfers. Now on the side here, I want to run a chamfer and it's going to spill on the entire design like this, you see. It's going to look pretty cool, right? It looks pretty awesome, I think. Yep, that's really cool. I like that. So let's mirror this to the other side and let's mirror this to the other side. All right, so there was some error with the mirror. There we go. Cool. So now here we could have a bevel and we could have a tiny chamfer here too. Now you want to be careful with micro beveling and micro chamfering, especially when you're going to be bringing this to Blender. You don't really want to do this because you can do this with textures. Now chamfer is a different story, but bevels you can do with textures, right? Like for example, you can use Materialworks, our add-on, to, you know, to chamfer stuff. So why bother? You know, this one could be actually, I have an idea here. What we could do is run a line here like this. In fact, hang on. This line could be going here like this between these two. Shift Q and imprint it on the shape here. Then grab this and go SX0, which is not gonna work. That's interesting. Hang on a second, why it's not working? This should work. I want to straighten this this face here. What we could do is move it, then straighten it as x0. There we go. And then move this angle to this face. So gx, right? Hold control. That's not gonna work. Gx, yeah, that's not gonna work. Okay. So in this case, what we can do is nuke these two faces. So Shift X, and nuke these faces here inside as well. Oh, wait a minute. Wait. This one, right? I'll need a line here. So let's just go with Shift A and create a line here like this. Shift Q and imprint it. Okay, then nuke this face here, right? And then we're gonna patch it. So yeah, so alt click here and patch it. This should work. That didn't work. Interesting. Wait a minute. Why is it not working? Ah, that's the problem here. See, like, when you have like a tiny annoying bit like this, be careful because it's gonna ruin your day. So you know you gotta be careful. So let's run another edge here and shift Q imprint, then 3, click on this tiny edge here, which is not gonna get selected. One more time. 2, Shift Q imprint. Did it work now? Yes, it did. Shift X, perfect. Now it should work. Hang on a second, we got some beef in here, so we need to nuke this too. Shift X, there we go. And also this one should be going from here to here. So Shift Q imprint, and then we can nuke this one. So X, dissolve it, there we go, and now you clean geometry. So now you gotta be really careful when you're doing this, so you don't have any, you know, rubbish edges here and there. Just nuke all of that, alt click here and patch, and now it's perfect. Good. So now I got this kind of, angled face, and this one is straight, which was going to allow me to create a perfect, chamfer here. And if I wanted to, I can even, bevel this. But I think a planar shift here is going to look interesting, Now, if you want to clean redundant topology, just go to find the delete redundant topology tool and run it. By the way, you can just right click any tool and add to favorites, and it's going to appear here. If you're wondering what tools I have here, it's the delete redundant topology, then xnarps because I'm using studio version, then raise degree, toggle points, remove fillets, which is remove fillets from all the mesh. And then we have the found boundary edges. This is going to be looking for non-manifold topology and square tool. But these are my go-to tools. Hang on a second, what's going on with the mirror here? Alt X. Okay, this got moved. The mirror got moved. So what we're gonna do is press F and run a freestyle mirror to the other side. Then we're gonna grab these two, QQ, and boom, right? This line here now isn't perfectly aligning with these, but honestly, I can't be bothered fixing this. I don't think you can rotate this. I mean, what you could do is move this one a little bit down here, and it's gonna be okay. No one's gonna notice the difference. Okay, so there you go, and we're good. Now, so once this is done, what we're gonna do is we're gonna attach the back side here. So let's run a cylinder, and you wanna press B for new body. So because we don't know what we wanna do with it yet. So chill. Then GY, move it in here on y-axis. What's going on? GY, come on, GY, there we go. Move it in here, even closer maybe. Maybe closer. And we're gonna make it smaller because it's too big, right? So smaller, something like that. And we're going to Control R this, press Tab to switch direction and run a loop here. And we're going to grab this one and expand it. And select one more time. I'm gonna select this edge and run a chamfer like this, okay? And then grab this chamfer and move it forward. So, which probably not gonna work. GY Yeah, this is not gonna work. Okay. In this case, we're going to grab these two faces and Shift X, grab these two edges with Shift and Alt and press L, and go to G1 with Tab. Then we're gonna have to combine all these together with J, and now you got a solid. So just make sure you get a solid, because if you're not gonna have a solid, you're gonna have a bad day. Control R here, Tab, and let's actually go deeper here to offset this. Create a tiny offset like this, and one more edge here, and this one's gonna be wider like this, right? Because what I want to do here is I want to run a tiny chamfer, right? And I want to run cuts here. So let's just run a boolean like this. Press B for new body, and we're gonna align it somewhere here. And what I want to do is I want to create a shape here. So Control R, Tab, and we're gonna slap this one, make it smaller, right? And then we're going to run a chamfer here, like this. Perfect. This one could be a little bit smaller. There you go. And then we're gonna punch it through. So 4, and let's just G and Y. Move it here on, what the hell is going with this axis? GY, there we go. Somewhere here. And then we're going to rotate it. So radial array, and let's just go back to the back view. It's gonna be easier. Radial array, and do that. I think it's enough of, I mean, I don't think we need more than that. It's fine. So now select this one, right, Q, run the selection on these, and Bob's your uncle, and you got yourself a mechanical kind of like a plate. You can attach this joint to something, right? Then this one could be a little bit wider. In fact, you know what we could do? Something cool here. We could borrow these. Shift D. Let me just hide this. There we go, and then unhide it. Then we're going to patch it, and we're going to make it larger, like this. And I'm going to expand it on y-axis and make it larger. There we go. And we could array this. Hang on. Let's just squash it on. The reason why my y-axis is skewed is because of the of this construction plane. I forgot to turn it off. GY, and let me see that. See, what I want to do is something like this. So now let me just go to this face, and I want to align it perfectly with this surface. So when I cut it, it's gonna cut just this front element. So now let's run another array here. So 4, and another array based on this point here. And let's see if it's gonna work. Yeah, so let's press Q, right, and just select these and see if it's gonna work the way I want it to work. So that's interesting. And now we need to play with this one. So let's combine them. QQ, Gucci. This one could be, you know, a bit of a chamfer here. Not gonna lie. There we go. Now here on sides, what we could do is create these connectors, right? So again, B for new body, and drop it down here. And we could align it here, but I think it's gonna be fine. So now let's drop this down to maybe this level. And then 2 and GZ, and drop it down like this to complete 0. Okay, and then what we can do is, this is a little bit too thin in my opinion. Although maybe it's gonna work. I would make it a little bit taller. Maybe something like this, and move it deeper here. Like that. Right? So now we can combine this here, QQ, right? And then let's run a chamfer here on these, I think. Bottom actually could be the same. Hang on. So let me just mirror this to the other side across here. So F for freestyle, and you're gonna have to do that. And then we're gonna have to grab this one and move it up a bit. Or you know what? This one could be extending here. I just saw an opportunity. See, sometimes when you model, you see an opportunity. See, that could be interesting. A little bit longer here. And then obviously this one needs to be shallower because it's too deep. When I do that, so you know what? Let's go with an edge. Let's grab an edge and GZ and maybe make it a bit more shallow. Like this, right? But longer. I think it's going to be cool. Okay. So then we're going to combine them. And then we're going to run a chamfer on them, or bevel. Maybe bevel is better, you know. I think maybe bevel is better. Yeah, we're looking pretty good. We're looking pretty good. All right, cool. So now here in the middle, I would also grab some kind of a tiny, cut. And in fact, smaller than this. It's gonna look pretty cool. There we go. Awesome. Cool, cool, cool. Alt X, Q, and we're done. So now what we want to do, you want to cut an opening here in this mesh. So what we could do is we could run a cube cut here, like this. And press B. And make it, come on. Make it larger. Okay, there we go. And let's just adjust it the way we want it, right? So we want something like this, maybe. Deeper in the bevel here, like that. So Q and cut it, press T, because we want to keep this shape. Let's just hide it. Now this is a little bit too deep, but I think we're gonna be fine. It's actually too deep. And I don't think I can bring it closer because of the bevels, you see. So I would need to probably remove this one. Then grab this one, move it closer, and then run the bevel again. It's an order of, And you probably need to nuke these ones too. So otherwise you're gonna have a bad day, so. Right, and then redo the bevel. Including these. There you go. It's not perfect, but we could just fix this. If you really wanted to fix this, you could just run edges here like this. Shift I here too, Then you can imprint them both, right? Shift Q, imprint. That's how you fix bevels, because if you're not gonna fix them, they're gonna kind of look weird. And then simply patch it, right? All right, come on. Patch it, and you want to patch it with G1 here and G0 on the other side, then you're gonna be fine, right? So now it's gonna be a really clean bevel. So that's how you do it when when extrusions don't work very well through bevels sometimes. So that's what you need to do. Okay. Here I'm gonna run another loop and one more loop here in the bottom. Where's the bottom here? Somewhere here. I'm gonna grab this face and I'm gonna put it inside like that. And that's cool. And then here, let's just recover this cube. So now this one, let's move it backwards here so I have more space. And we're gonna run from here, like this. It's not long enough on this side, so let's just go here and extend it, which is extend here. It's gonna extend it, there we go. Then C, because your cutter needs to be larger than the object you're cutting, otherwise it will not work. Let's just move it down here a little bit, right? That's just looking pretty cool. It's actually too big, but we just grab that and we can actually combine this. Actually not yet, because we need to do the bottom. So the bottom could be slightly smaller. right? Again, we need to extend this. So extend that and cut it, right? So see, cut it and nuke this one. Okay, how are we looking? Maybe the bottom should be flat. I'm thinking. Let me try this. Maybe something like this. RR. I think this is more reasonable. So this one is still too big in my opinion. That looks kind of cool. I like that. This one is still too deep. So could actually move this one, the whole thing. 4 and GY and move it forward. Move it somewhere here. We're gonna cut this, don't worry about it. Just slice it here, like this, C and slice it. Alright, and then we're gonna sink this one in. How are we looking now? It's still too big here. There we go. And then we're gonna cut that. Okay, so now we can combine this. So 4 and QQ, and then we can just have some fun. So let's go here and slice it. Move this one somewhere here and C and slice it, right? Then you can just cut it off here. Boom. Right? So now you got this joint, I mean this kind of a mechanism going inside over there. It's still too high because you need clearance for the movement. So something like this. And I think it's gonna be fine. And then we need to drop it down. So let's just go to local view and grab this one and extend it here, and let's see. It's too deep. So let's just grab it again, grab the face, go back, and then we can just, you know, adjust it manually here until we see where we need to kind of end this. I think this will do. Maybe this is fine, and we can run the bevel here on this one. There we go. Right. This one too could be kind of chamfered or whatever to create a better opening here. These two could be beveled. There we go. Someone is in trouble. Okay. And then I would just run some chamfer here for fun and mirror to the other side, Q, and let's see how we're looking. Yeah, we're looking pretty good. See, this looks kind of strong. So here too, we could just run some bevels and maybe some chamfer. And this could be also mirrored to the other side. So Alt-X and boom. What we also need is some sort of a support like here. It's actually kind of like that to, you know, let's say that this is a very heavy duty joint and there's a lot of weight being pulled. Then you kind of need an additional piston and stuff here so we can build it very easily. So let's just grab a box here and create kind of like a this sort of a situation. Scale it down a bit, and we're gonna have one here, a longer one, and then another one here, right? Going to this, and I want to make one of these kind of shorter. Hang on, 3. Maybe this one should be shorter. So this should be shorter, and this one should be longer. You don't want to make them even length because it's just not gonna look really cool. You always want to offset stuff, yeah? So let's just RR this and see how this is gonna look. Let's just leave some clearance here. You know, clearance here, I think it's gonna look better. And then combine them here. This one obviously needs to be thicker and taller. and needs to be going inside of this structure here. There we go. Now let's grab these two and let's run a bevel on this. Full bevel, and the same here. So let's go to local view and let's run a bevel. Click Control here and full. And let's see how this looks. Perfect. Now we need to align them. So Alt Z and just align them so it makes sense, right? And then we can run, you know, a joint here or whatever through them, right? And we can worry about it later. So that's that. And obviously here we need a cut because it needs to move inside. Always think about, you know, how this doesn't make sense mechanically, because if it doesn't, even if it's technically not moving, but mechanically makes sense, it's gonna be really, what I'm trying to say is that it doesn't really have to mechanically make sense, as it doesn't have to move in reality, but if it just sells the idea that, you know, kind of like an illusion that, oh, you know, your brain thinks, okay, this could actually move, you're good, okay? Because if you think that everything in games and whatever is mechanically correct, even in Star Citizen, some stuff is, you know, is just illusion, okay? So, you know, don't get too hung up on these. This is not in the middle, so GG and just move it to the middle. Snap it here somewhere. Let's control, there we go, now it's in the middle. So let's just move it a little bit here like this, there we go. So it's kind of like 2/3 and 1/3 more or less. I think it looks cool. This could be a little bit, you know, kind of wider. So not this one, SX. So it's, you know, it's a bit more robust, not so feeble. There we go. Same here, we need some kind of an opening. Patch it, then 3, extrude it, and drop it down, and then, you know, just simply boolean it. So Q and Bob's uncle. Remove this one, remove the plane, and there you go. Now this one here could be chamfered, for example, like this. And obviously we need some kind of an opening here, so Alt Z, and we're gonna cut this, right? So C and cut it, and can nuke this one. We're going to run the bevels here, so bevels on this one full, and we're gonna run the, you know, this and through it, make it larger, and we can just leave it like that. I'm not gonna really, you know, overdo this here because there's no point. This could be actually, you know, a little bit still wider, to be honest. SX, you know, just a little bit more robust, okay? Just saying, this could be chamfered. It's gonna look better. Things look better when they chamfered, just saying. It's the nature of things, you know. And there we go. We could have some cuts here, like, you know. So let's run a cut here like this. Let's just do that, and let's just echo this edge here like this. I'm just tapping shift here. This is pretty cool, and what we can do is, you know, slice this. So you could technically, you know, borrow this this edge here, right? So what you could do is Alt J to explode it, Shift D, GG, move it in here, and then Shift D, GG, move it in here, right? And we're going to cut this, so I mean trim it. So press T for trimming, trim these two, and, you know, we don't need these ones, right? And you got this. Easy peasy Japanesey. So now press 2 for edge, select all these, join them, because we have multiple edges here on the left, you see, join them, select them both. Now, when you bevel stuff, like you bevel angles, you want to bevel the same angles together, okay? So open angles separately, close angles separately, because they all have different curvature. the bevels will just look bad if you're gonna, run bevels on all the angles at the same time. So don't be lazy, do it properly. Shift Q, imprint, right? Now I'm not gonna be deleting these because they could be useful, so I'm gonna hide them and grab these two and just run them in, right? What we could do is run the chamfer on these, tiny one, right? And then just simply mirror this to the other side. Is it not in the middle? It is in the middle. Cool. Perfect. Now we can just kind of, do a similar thing here, but we don't have to. But it looks pretty cool. Awesome. So now here on the top, we still need something. So let's grab another cube. And let's cut this here, right? So let's go in and B and, do that. And we're going to cut it. So Q and come on, Q and cut it. There we go. Now this is actually too big. I think we don't really need that much of a cut here. Although, hang on a second. Let's just run a bolt here. Press B. All right. And do that, and then let's just align it. So align it with this one, and we're going to run the chamfer on this smaller one. You want to run different sizes of chamfers and bevels. You don't want everything to be the same size because no bueno, okay? So, this one too needs to be mirrored. And now what I want to do is I want to rotate this one down a bit. So R, then V for changing the pivot point. We're going to rotate it down here on Z axis. Here down. There we go. That's what I want. Let me see that. That's better. Okay. Because I want this pivot point to be somewhere here. So I'm going to run a loop here. I'm going to grab this one and move it in. Right. So similar kind of a situation to what we have here. This one here on the sides, Alt Z, run this one here, press B for new body, GX, move it in here, and we're just gonna do that. And you don't really have to even combine this. I mean, we could, but I'm just gonna make it larger, move it somewhere here, and we're simply gonna merge it. So, this one and this one, QQ, done, right? Then we're gonna use this one to cut it. So Q, cut this one, press T, because we wanna keep that. Then we're gonna run two chamfers here to isolate, to create this kind of a, clearing over there, right? And on top of this, what we could do, we could use a piston or something, but honestly, maybe it's gonna be too much, but we could. There's still space for another, kind of a pivot point in here, I think. So we could maybe run something here on top. Let's try this, okay? Or we could just grab this so we can maintain the angle. Shift D, grab the edge here. We could turn it to pipe, so P for pipe, and run a pipe, right? Now this piston should be slightly angled like this, I think. It's going to be more interesting in my opinion. We need to move to the middle, so GG and hold control and snap it. There we go. And we can nuke this one because we don't need it. Move it somewhere here, and now Control R, tab, and let's make this one thinner, right? And then what we need is we need to borrow this face, Shift D, and then 3, and come on, 4. Let's grab this face, go to local view, 3, extrude it, boom, right? Go back. And then we're going to play with Alt Z to see through. And then we're going to cut it here, like this. So C and cut it. We don't need that. Cool. We can close this one. So close this here. Let's see what we have here now. Well, we could just run loops here. One loop here. I'm going to eyeball this now. One loop here. And then 3 and move it in. Or actually maybe move it out and then do this. hang on. Let's go to the bottom view and Control R here and Control R here. This one doesn't want to apply loops, Alt X and mirror. Okay, then grab this one and drop it down here, this one. Wait a minute. We need one more line here, right? So Alt Control R here. Okay, and then we can drop this one, right? There we go. I mean, sorry, these. There we go. Now, how are we looking? We can drop this one too, actually. To a degree, maybe. Oh, that's interesting. I like that. Now, I'm not sure if I like this one, so I'm just going to combine it here like that. And maybe we could just angle this. So, RR and do something like that. Or maybe align it with this one. Here with this one. So hang on, if I'm gonna extrude this out and grab this edge, Shift D and move it somewhere here, and then slice it, I'm gonna get the perfect extension of this thing, right? Yeah, there you go. So this one doesn't have to be so long. It's kind of like a housing for, you know, this, what do you call this thing? You know what I mean? For the, for this, piston, whatever the hell it is. There we go. There we go, and then we can just grab this one, Q, cut it, or the other way around. This one, Q, cut it, T, and then grab that, and we definitely need to make this one wider, so make this one wider, oh, and drop a tiny chamfer here. How are we looking? It doesn't have to be so, you know. I think this is enough, right? This is enough. Okay, cool. Now, this could be thicker, to be honest. This could be a little bit thicker too, to be honest. So, grab that. Expand this one, and then just let's grab this one, press X. There we go. Expand this one. Okay, and then let's chamfer this a little bit. There we go. Okay, that's better. And here, obviously, we can run a chamfer on this. Like this, right? Cool. And this one's gonna be going deeper, so here. And we need another, you know, sort of, this probably shouldn't be here. I don't want to lose, hang on, let me just move this one back, and X on this one, and X on this one. That's not gonna work. But I can move this one deeper now, and I can move this one deeper now, right? So this should work if I'm gonna create a chamfer here. There we go. And this one can be aligned with this one, and then we're gonna run a horizontal bolt here. So let's just grab another one here like this, run through, and B, scale it obviously because it's too big, GX, there we go, and combine it here, QQ, and we could even bevel this just for fun, and we could cut this just to make it more realistic. So here, click, Q, and then T, grab this one to loco, and click on this face and make it larger, and chamfer it, right? So there we go, and then simply mirror to the other side. And how we're looking. So now we're gonna create some, you know, cuts here and there just for fun. So for example, what we could do is we could run a cut here. We could mirror this and scale that. Can we do that? No, we can't. What if I'm gonna add another line here, then 3? I can't do it either. Interesting. How about extruding now? Nope. In this case, Shift D. So now we're gonna grab this one and we're gonna thicken this with Tab both ways. And then we're going to grab this one, press Q, and it should work. There we go. See, there's always a way to fix things, you know? You just have to think, right? If you want something, get it. Don't give up. Yeah, let's move this one back. I love this about plasticity, that you can, you know, do stuff like this. Then what we can do, this is crazy, watch this. We can actually push this backwards like that. I mean, good luck doing that in Blender. Whew. It will be painful. Although, there are some interesting things you can do with the with this new add-on from Team C called End Suite. I actually have a video on it. Go ahead and watch it, it's pretty good. Here I'm gonna drop a chamfer, small one. Is it a bevel or a chamfer? It's a chamfer. See, like when you have an uneven chamfer like this, technically what you should do is run a pipe. I actually show in detail how to do this in the ship course I was talking about in the beginning of this video. The ultimate guide to plasticity. So if you want to really, you know, learn some crazy techniques, grab this course, because this course is something else. There's a lot of stuff over there that you're gonna blow your socks off. Here, let's just create an interesting shape here like that. In fact, you know what? Not like this. Let's grab this edge here, Shift D, GG that in here, and then we're going to run 2 edges here. Come on, Shift A, and another edge we're gonna run here. Then we're gonna trim that. Then we're going to combine them. In fact, we need to create a sheet. Actually, I could imprint this. Join it, Shift Q, and imprint it. And we could run it on normal. Where is it? Normal. It's not gonna be good enough. Vector is better, okay. It's going through my entire mesh, which is something I don't want, but if I'm going to sync this one a little bit like that, I can always clean it, because I can grab the mesh, go to Q, sorry, not Q, go to F, and remove this redundant topology, so, you know, it's fine. Here we going to, maybe we could shear this face. Let's see if it's gonna actually work. Oh, I'm sorry, not shear, draft. It's the other way around, maybe. Come on. Select this one, and then shift select this one and draft. There we go. Okay, that's better. I like that. Cool. And we could just for fun have this one beveled. It's gonna look really cool. Like there's some kind of a mechanism inside or whatever. So now here we're gonna just mirror this so to the other side. And then also I want these cuts here. So let's enable these curves. And let's grab them. And GG, move them in here, RR, and rotate them. And move them here, I need to see them. Now, I don't want them to be identical. In fact, I'm thinking that maybe what I will do is I will just cut one here, like this, or maybe even deeper here. Shift Q imprint, come on, Shift Q imprint, there we go. And move it in, right? And then just chamfer it, not bevel, chamfer. How are we looking? Yeah, I think this is good. Okay, that will work. So let's just mirror this. That's nice. And here too, we could have some cuts. on this one, to be honest. We could have actually a narrow cuts like this. One more time. So here is B, and just drop it in here, like a wedge cut, you know, GX. And then select this one and Q. One more time. Select this one, Q. There we go. And so maybe it's a little bit too wide and also too deep. Yeah, I think this is gonna do. Alright, so let's mirror this to the other side. There we go. Here too we could have some cuts. Maybe some wedge cut here on the end like this, right? So B, GX, move it in. And let me just grab this one and rotate it a little bit on Z. And move it a little bit deeper like this. And then rotate this face on Z as well. Let's see this one now, and maybe even this one too. R, Y. And drop it down. There we go. And also what we want to bring it a little bit higher. Somewhere here. Let's see that. This one could actually be straight, so S, X, 0. And this one could be a little bit deeper. So this one could be sheared against this one, not the other way around. So, I mean, sorry, drafted. I don't know why I'm saying sheared. There we go. Oh, that's actually interesting, I'm not gonna lie. Maybe too tall, but we could just, you know, bring it up. Oh, that's actually kind of cool, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, that's good. It's called happy accidents, you know what I mean? Happy accidents. As long as kids are not involved, happy accidents are fine. Cool, so that will do. And then I want something here on the bottom. What I was thinking is to grab this one, Shift D, and then make it larger. Right? And then convert it to a pipe and make it bigger. And we're gonna slice this like this here. C, come on, C and slice it, nuke that. And then we're going to mirror this to the other side, Q, right? And then let's actually run a bevel here. So if you want to run a perfect bevel on the pipe, you just start the bevel and you click. And it should work, but it doesn't for some reason. One more time. Huh. Interesting, it doesn't work. Normally it works, it just creates a perfect bevel. Doesn't want to do it. Well, that's okay, fine. Let's do that. Then let's mirror to the other side. And then bring it in. GY. Somewhere here. It's in the middle. I'm not really crazy about this being in the middle. Let's make it bigger and drop it a little bit lower. Somewhere here. Are we looking? Yeah, we're looking good. Let's try that. Q. See, that looks really, really cool. I like that. I like that a lot. Last thing, we need some bolt here. So 3, let's just borrow this and then patch it. Make it a little bit smaller, right? And not this one. Come on. Let me grab this. Then select this face, press O for inset, offset, whatever. And let's just do that. And let's see. That's cool. And all right, GX, move it in here. Alt X and mirror, and we're good to go. I got the nice cohesive language here, design language between these. But I would really like to also do, maybe it's gonna be overdoing things, but I kind of feel like I could just run some tiny cuts here. So now if you didn't know, you can also array cuts, Boolean cuts. So watch this. I'm gonna grab this one, Shift Control plus, Why is it not working? Shift Control Plus, there we go. Then we're going to grab an array, then run an array here, click, and you got your booleans repeated around, which looks pretty fucking cool. Now here in the back we could just also add some interesting stuff. Let's just cut in. How deep can we go? We can go pretty deep. Okay, let's just do that. And let's just do this. So it's gonna be super mechanical. And we could create some kind of, you know, like, let's just draw a cube here. And I'm gonna hold C to draw from middle. And then we're going to press B for separate body, G, GY, and move it backwards. And obviously this is too big, so let's drop it down. And this could be a little bit deeper. Right, just make sure it's not gonna poke anywhere, because it's gonna be a problem. In fact, what we could do, you know, we could align this so, or make it smaller. Alt Z, and GZ. Drop it down like that. Let me see if we're not poking through. Just press H. Yes, we are. So let's just chamfer this. There we go. Alt H. And now let's grab this and do something interesting with it. So here, this could be actually a bit taller. So let's just make it a bit taller. Or just move it up a little bit. There we go. And let's just create some kind of a chamfer here. And maybe some chamfers here. Some bevel like this. How are we looking? We're looking pretty interesting. Then we could also draw here with C again. Something like this. Or let's just grab these and bevel them. And let's just imprint this. And drop this one down a little bit, right? So now we got this kind of a situation, and we're going to array this. So array this, and we're gonna create maybe 16 of them, right? So I'm gonna get this kind of you know, some mechanical bit in the middle, and we could still build on that a little bit. So grab this one and GY, move it in, create a chamfer, and then cut it in the middle like this. And Bob Joe uncle, right? And you got this kind of a, you know, mechanism here inside. This one could also be a bit more interesting. So grab that and grab this one and move it in a little bit and chamfer it. Boom, see? You got this nice rim sort of surrounding it. This could be a little bit more, a little bit thicker, but don't run things, you know, like, see, like, I see it more quite often when people just symmetrically create details. You want to offset it because it looks so much more interesting at 2/3 and 1/3. It's way more interesting than putting it in the middle, okay? So there you go, and peachy. Now in terms of bevels, I wouldn't really worry about it because we can easily run procedural bevels in Blender. So, you know, just don't worry about it. We can do this with our add-on Materialworks very easily in Blender. Now this one could be slightly angled. I don't know if it's going to be possible to do that, but let's try. So let's draft this. Yes, it's going to work. Yeah, I'm not going to budge. The only way to do this would be to create a larger circle. I'll show you. Shift D, right? I grab that, create a larger circle like this, right? Imprint it, so Shift Q and imprint it, okay? Then we're gonna delete these two faces. And also we're gonna have to run an imprint here. So Shift Q and imprint it. Then delete that, Shift X, and also imprint here. And and then Shift Q and imprint, and come on, that didn't work. Shift Q, imprint, boom. Then select that, Shift X and Alt click here and patch. And you're gonna get this nice, you know, angled cut, which looks pretty cool. This could be a little bit more angled, but you know, it's fine. And you don't have to really connect it because patching connects things automatically. Then press 4 here, F, and remove any garbage that's, you know, floating around. And then we're gonna mirror this to the other side. So Alt X and mirror. So, you know, when you're gonna have this kind of a angled face, you're gonna be catching more light. Because it's a planar shift, it's angled, right? So the reflection is gonna bounce off of it, which is gonna be cool. Now here too, we wanna remain consistent. We have bevels everywhere, so we could actually bevel these just ever so slightly, you know, gently, right? It's gonna just look a bit more curvy, and you could just run a tiny chamfer here. Whoa, tiny chamfer here too. But it's gonna be a bit more difficult because you would need to run bevels on this one in order to run chamfer on the entire edge here. But you know, it's going to add a bit of a highlight, so it's cool. So then Alt X and mirror, and I think we're done. We could have some maybe notches here too, honestly, circular ones, but small ones, you know. I'm thinking maybe something like this here. Did it work? This one is angled, that's why it's not working. Let's just imprint it, it's gonna be easier. Okay, so imprint it here. Shift D, GG, move it in here, right? Grab both of them. Move them out here. Shift Q and imprint it, there we go. And then we're gonna simply sink it in. It's gonna create a nice triangular detail, so here on the front you see, kind of binding this together. I think it's a little bit better. And let's just mirror this, so Q and boom. How are we looking? Yeah, I think we arrived. I think this is, you know, this is good enough. Here in the bottom too, we could have some cut, honestly. This is just me having fun right now. You know, something like this maybe I'm seeing here, and maybe beveled. So Shift Q and imprint, and now with imprinting, be careful because it's gonna go through, and if you don't want it to go through, you need to see it's gonna go through. Probably see that here. You need to click this option. Do not. Let me show you. So there's an option here, Shift D, GG, let me just put it in here, Shift Q, imprint, here, hide occlusion. If you're gonna click that, it's not gonna go through your mesh. But honestly, I don't really care because all I need to do is F and clean it, and it's gonna disappear, so it's fine. So you can do it, you know, either before or after, it doesn't matter. But I think this looks pretty cool. Let's just mirror this. I don't think this is symmetrical. There we go. It looks a little bit better. Just bring something in the bottom and kind of corresponds with this cut here, and the cuts in the top kind of binds it together. I think it looks pretty cool. Nice. Now this one here too could be wait a minute. Where's the hang on. Let me just grab it too. Here, this one. We could grab this and bevel this. Let me see how this looks. That looks a bit, I see a bit better, just kind of curves. And they're gonna be additional, you know, what do you call this thing? Kind of, you know, just bring it closer and maybe RX do this. I think it's gonna be interesting. Yeah, that's cool. And bevel this. Boom. Oh yeah, that's cool. And we could chamfer these, you know. Not bevel, chamfer. There we go. On the whole thing, actually. Can we do that? kind of, there we go, that's better. So 4 and Alt X, and so you know there's going to be a bit of a travel, kind of a room for this to travel, and when the arm goes down, this, you know, is going to collapse, and it's going to work. Now here we want to stay consistent with the design language, so we need some kind of a, you know, thing in the middle. Also this one isn't straight for some reason. Also, what the hell is that? Let's just hide it. Boom, there you go. Grab this one, GG, and snap it in the middle. There we go, that's better. 3, O, and, you know, let's make it actually smaller. There we go, and boom. So GX, and there we go. I think it's going to be more consistent here, so Alt X and Mirror Q, and boom. How are we looking? Yeah, we're looking pretty peachy, I really like it. Now this chamfer is a little bit too big. In fact, this could be a little bit larger, you know, this whole thing here. Let me just try to make this a bit larger. Okay. And let's grab this one and make it larger and narrower. In fact, hang on. Larger and GX. Okay, and then Alt X and Q. How are we looking? Yeah, that makes more sense. This is better. Also, this one is a little bit thin now, this area here, but I think it's gonna be fine. Alright, well, I think that's it for the video. Thanks so much for watching. Like I said in the beginning, if you want to learn how to model in plasticity, you want to learn some really cool in-depth techniques on surfacing, working with curves and all that, then grab the course because it's really, really good. A link in the video description and also in the pinned comment. The course has a ton of value and it will teach you not just how to model, but how to think like a designer in plasticity and how to create some really awesome hard surface models. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.